Hey up everybody. So today the topic of this video is going to be how to spot a bad recruitment agency. Now recruitment agencies, we've all dealt with them. Well, I'm pretty sure that most of us have dealt with them in the past. Um, Now there are good and bad recruitment agencies. Unfortunately, there's not many good recruitment agencies out there. Most of them are bad. So I've experienced good and bad recruitment agencies, but I'm just going to give you a couple of, let's just see, red flags and things you can look out for to avoid those bad recruitment agencies. So, number one is they have little knowledge of the company that they're sending you to, or they have little knowledge about the industry. So, you might be registered with an agency and then they say, we're going to send you out here and we're going to get you to do this and do that. And this is what the company does and blah, blah, blah. These are your working hours and all that, keep it. Go out there and the working hours are different. The company's totally different. The industry's totally different. And you kind of think, am I even at the right job here? Like, it's just, it's just not what I was sent out for. Whereas a good agency, what they see in the job description and what they explain to you in the screening process when you go out there, that's what you're there for. So you'll find that with a bad agency, they don't know the industry and they don't know where they're sending you, and the hours are all wrong. Number two, their office is not professional and they're not on the ball when you arrive. So a good agency, when you show up, it's a nice office, well looked after. Um, the agents are on the ball, they're on time. When you get there, they're not late. You go in for the screening. A bad agency, well, I can give you one example. I went to one agency, and basically all it was it was like an old house that was turned into this single room, and there was extension leads and cards running all over the floor, and there was these 5 people all sat around a desk, and there was a single room where they used to screen people, but all these 5 agents were around this desk, and it was like a makeshift office. I haven't seen anything like that before, but that's one example. I mean, I've been to a couple of others that are very close to that, but that's just one example of how shabby some of these places are. In the experience, most agents that have kept me waiting or have been late to the actual appointment, I've never gotten work through them ever. So if you come across that's probably likely that it's a bad agency to go through. Number 3, once they send you to the place that you're going to be working at, they don't care. You never hear from them ever again. Or you only ever hear from them when the assignment's finished. I've worked through agencies where basically when you go out there, every week they're phoning you up. Are you alright? Do you need help with stuff? Are you happy where you are? We can send you somewhere else. Other agents that I've worked through that have sent me to places, basically, once you're there, they don't care because they got their commission. That's all they care about. And then when you phone up and have to tell them something, they go, "Who? Who are you?" "Oh, that's right. Yeah, you. Yeah." So that's a good example of a bad recruitment agent, that they just don't care. Once they get that commission, that's all they care about. Now I know all of them are in it for the money, but there are recruitment agents that do care about you as a person, believe it or not. Number 4, the communication is poor, or it's bad communication. So that might be when you're inquiring about jobs. It could be when you're actually on the job, as I mentioned earlier. I'll give you another example. I was working at one place. I got ready Monday morning, caught the bus, freezing cold, got there, got into the office, and everyone's going, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." And I'm going, "What do you mean?" They go, "Our manager told the agency on Friday that we don't need you anymore, not because you've done the wrong thing, but the work's just dried up." And I went, really? So then I spoke with the manager, and the manager said, I spoke with the agency and I've told them. And I went, well, why didn't they tell me? So then I phoned the agency, and the agency said, well, we know that you weren't required, but it was up to them to tell you. And then I was turning into a football, going back and forth. So I think that's a good sign of a bad agency where it's just pure recruitment. There was another time where I got sent out to a company to work at. First day, I was really excited to work there. This was years ago. And I get there, and I get told, we don't even need you at all. Who said that? So I phoned the agency, and they kind of went, oh, we're sorry. And I went, no, you're not sorry. That's just pure communication. You've just wasted a whole day. You've wasted. I've put off other jobs to go and do this, and you've done this to me. So that's another way to tell if an agency's bad. Sometimes you have to experience it to find that out that it's bad, but that's a good way to know. So number 5, they pressure you into jobs or situations, and if you say no, they blacklist you. So I've had this once or twice where you are phoned. Sometimes it's last minute, sometimes it could be any time of the day, and they try to force you to take jobs that you're not either qualified in or you're not interested in. And if you say no, they blacklist you. And then they use the excuse of, we offered you work and you rejected it, so we're not going to have you as a candidate anymore. But I mean, a good agency will know your strengths and weaknesses, and they'll know where to send you, where not to send you, and they won't blacklist you for stuff like that. Bad agencies will pressure you into jobs, or as what I've mentioned earlier, they'll because they got a lack of knowledge in the industry, they'll send you to places, and when you get there, it's obvious to the workers that you're with, and with as you yourself, that you'll know that you're not qualified or you shouldn't be there. So that's another good sign. Number 6, when they screen you, they care more about who you've worked for before, as in terms of references, bosses, and other things that you've done, and not you. So I've signed up with some agencies in the past where they don't really care so much about you and what you want and everything. They're more interested in, I mean, I've been asked by one recruitment agent what computer system I was using at this company I worked at 10 years ago, and what my boss's name, and was it through an agency, and was it through this, and was it through that, and I'm going, I'm here to find, you're supposed to be here finding me a job, not finding out what my boss's name was 12 years ago. So the good agencies that have found me work, they don't use this tactic of trying to find out who my manager was 12 years ago, and trying to find out information that's not about me, but it's about other things, so they can get leads for other stuff, if you know what I mean. Number 7, they post fake jobs constantly. So, okay, every agency posts fake jobs. I think everyone knows that. But there are some agencies that they do it constantly, and they do it all the time. A common trick that you'll see is, you'll see a job advertised, you'll apply for it, then you'll get a message or a phone call from the agent saying, oh, that job that you applied for, it's expired, but we've got this other role that's right up your alley, or of interest to you. And then you go, yeah, put me forward for that, and then that role doesn't exist either. And then when you go back on Indeed or CV Library or whatever search engine you're using for a job, you'll see that job re-advertised again. Or sometimes you'll see the same job advertised through different agencies over and over again, like a cycle. I think it's called data mining, where they just try to get you in, sign up, just to get you on the books, but they're not actually trying to get you a job or anything like that. So, I mean, every agency does it, but I've noticed that there's certain agencies that they do it constantly, and you kind of think to yourself, how are they making money if they're just constantly putting out fake jobs all the time? Their job is to find people work. So another one is number 8, the Google reviews. I've noticed this trend a lot lately. You get an agency where, say for like the last 2 or 3 years, you've got all these negative reviews, 1 star, 2 star. The agency did this, the agency did that. And then all of a sudden you start to notice that you get all these 5-star reviews, one after the other. But you notice that the people doing the review have no display picture. They only have the one review, and it's 5-star, and it's generally the same writing, like, the agency got me work and I love them, or thanks to this person, they got me work and they're the best agency ever. And you just notice that there's a trend of no display picture, one review on their Google account, no other reviews, and 5-star. Now it's dead easy to make a fake Google account. Anyone can do it, and especially when it's part of your job, you've got all day to do it. So I've noticed that with a lot of bad agencies. You can do it yourself. You can go into Google right now and you'll see for years they've had all these bad reviews. All of a sudden, all positive reviews. But you never see anyone doing a review with, say, that's reviewed other places. It's just that one review and then they vanish. And the last one is, this one's pretty obvious, they promise you the world. So they'll promise you jobs, opportunities that don't exist. They promise you stuff that's too good to be true, and now it happens. So a good agency won't promise you the world. It's very rare. Most agencies I've signed up with, the bad ones, they will promise you the world. Whereas a good agency will say, look, we've got now right at the moment. All we can do for you is you can sign up and we'll see where it goes. A bad agency will say, yeah, we got these perfect roles for you, we'll get you in straight away, blah blah blah. Never happens. So anyway, this video went a bit over 12 minutes. I thought I'd be able to get through this in about 6, but that's me video on recruitment agencies. Now, and again, they're not all bad. There are a couple of good ones in amongst the bad ones. So don't go hating on all recruitment agencies because they can get you work. If you like the video, just make sure that you subscribe and like the video, share it, and I'll be making a new video soon. So take it easy and I'll catch you all later. Ta-ra.